Board, as I've said before, but I really do want to acknowledge the incredible leadership Senator Sanders has shown. He showed in the Affordable Care Act, but has shown over many, many years around community health centers and other healthcare issues. But I want to acknowledge that the incredible achievement that we reached in the Affordable Care Act around community health centers was because of his strong leadership, and it is just another reason, Warren, I love the Affordable Care Act so much.
But you cannot, let me just say this about, I can tell you from personal experience that there's nobody who's worked harder on the prescription drug issue either. He and I've done a lot of good things together. We made some real progress with regard to just abuse of these folks jacking up the price of prescription drugs, life-saving drugs. And so I mean, I really appreciate that because it's helped a lot of people. But we still got a lot of work to do. Then Mr. Dr. West.
No, I just think it's very important that we don't sanitize and sterilize what Brother Bernie Sanders talks about when he talks about health care as a right, as opposed to a privilege. See, voting rights was a privilege for a long time. You had white brothers with property and white brothers without property. Women didn't have the right to vote. So it remained sanitized. It was an abstraction for a small group, but it functioned as a privilege. Black folk didn't get it until 65. So this language is so abstract that when Bernie Sanders says it's a right, he wants to specify the ways in which voting rights is universal, the right to join your own church, mosque, synagogue, temple, universal, the right to express yourself critically, universal. Right now, given the magnificent breakthrough of the Affordable Care Act, it's not a right. It's still a privilege of 29 million fellow citizens do not have access to it. That's what women were told in 1918. Voting rights is a right, but you don't have it. Sorry about that. But it's coming. It's coming. It's going to come because we organize and fight for it. But that's what Bernie Sanders, I think, has in mind. It's very clear. I think it's very important to be clear about that. So when I hear the language of, we thank Bernie Sanders for working so hard and doing so and so, that's not what he's ultimately after. He's after our universal right in the way that voting rights are right. It's not market-based. And we're not there yet. And we just voted against it.